Hi, all. Sorry for that. I have no idea why we lost the internet. We'll just wait for um, the bottom teams to join back. Okay. Hi. Can you hear me now? Okay. Okay, so Dr. Juhi, apologies for that. I have no idea how we lost the session. As you were saying that menstruation can have a very individualized impact on performance, and one has to be able to track and know their bodies better to kind of help them strategize what might work or what might not work for them. But coming to hygiene and menstrual hygiene in general, I think one of the most critical aspect of it is the products that you use, right? What products work, and what would be the right choice for young girls and for women who play. Can you talk a little bit about that? How do you decide a product for yourself, and how do you make that decision as an athlete? Dr. Juhi, we can't hear you.
Are you
Uh,
able to?
yeah, now we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I was saying that depending on which sport are you into, you can have you can use the menstrual products accordingly. Tampons are a popular choice for most of the athletes, as because those who are into high impact sports and swimming, I mean, most of them are using tampons. Nowadays, usage of sustainable products like menstrual cups and reusable period underwear and reusable pads, people are shifting into those products. Menstrual cup, I'll advise for those who want longer protection and those who are into swimming or water-based sports. In those athletes, menstrual cups are a go-to option because they can last up to for 12 hours and they are mostly suitable for all the sports. And also there is no chance of leaks and they are reusable and they are eco-friendly also. Coming to other option is like the period underwear. Period underwear is just like your routine underwear. You just have to wear it, that's it. And it is as comfortable as a routine underwear. It's leak proof. Also, as it is made up of cotton and it's a natural cotton fabric, it is breathable. So it will weak the moisture and usually there is a fear of infection because athletes sweat a lot, and because of that there is moisture as well as there is chances of growth of bacteria after sweating. So the usage of period underwear can prevent that because it will weak the moisture. There will be no fear of infection, and so those who are into physical intense sports and those who sweat a lot, they can use period underwear and they can. I mean, it lasts for around 6 to 8 hours. So even whenever they are in tournaments and where longer periods of activities needed, they don't have the difficulty and they don't have to change it frequently because it can last for 6 to 8 hours. Other than that, even this reusable pads, they can be used in those who have low impact sports like chess or indoor sports. In those athletes, even reusable pads can be used. Uh, the last I'll go with disposable pads. They are not ideal for most of the sports, but yes, if those who don't have access to reusable pads and reusable products, they can, and those who are into low impact and indoor activities, they can use pads also.
Okay, perfect. And I mean, coming to, Super Bottoms is helping us, like I said in the earlier part of the discussion, that, Super Bottoms is helping us with the Brahmaputra Volleyball League project, where we are, giving out reusable pads to the volleyball players. Almost 500 reusable pads are being distributed
Right.
through this project. Can you help us understand in terms of the reusable pads, what are the best practices if an athlete is, kind of using those? What could be the best practices? And also, I feel that, in terms of, where there is an issue of sustainability or affordability also, do you think a reusable pad is because it can be used again? Does that help? An athlete who may not be able to afford, very, very high level of care.
Yes. So, using sustainable and reusable pads are always good for even for the personal use also and even for the environment. The disposable items like tampons or disposable pads, they have high chemicals in them and they are made up of plastics and they have added fragrance. So they are irritable to the skin and it makes the skin is also prone to the allergy. Whereas the organic fiber which is used in these pads, they are gentle on the skin. They cause decreased risk of allergy and there is low irritation also. Plus, as I mentioned previously, it has better breathability because there is better airflow and there is decreased moisture buildup, and therefore there is decreased bacterial growth. The reusable ones, they minimize the waste generation and they are great for environment and sustainability. As They are also cost effective because a single pad can be used n number of times and almost, I think, for 1 year, a single set of pads as well as the period underwears can be used up till I think 1 to 2 years, and they are biodegradable also. So once they are not fit to use, they can biodegrade. I mean, they can biodegrade easily. Also, they are convenient because a reusable pad can last for up to 4 to 6 hours, and a period underwear can last for up to 6 to 8 hours. So they can be worn for a longer period of time. So the athletes are at a peace of mind that they don't have to, change it every time because the disposable pads, they have to be changed every 3 to 4 hours. Otherwise, there is a risk of infection. So the athletes are at a peace of mind and they are rest assured that at least for now, this period of time, I won't be having to change my pad.
Right. So it's good that, then our athletes are in good hands now that they've received the
Correct.
Super Bottoms pads. My next question is that, if you're looking at, say, say maybe for athletes, especially who are traveling and who are traveling to, remote places in the country, they don't have access to maybe a running water or, a clean toilet, so on and so forth. So for athletes who are constantly on the move, what would be the, maybe the top five tips that you would give them in terms of maintaining menstrual hygiene, especially when they are on their period? What are the five things that they need to keep in mind so that they don't, get infections and all of that? Because as we know, that even a small infection can cost you your tournament, or it can cost you, a match that you can easily win. You might lose it because, you catch a fever or there's an infection that can, happen. So that's why menstrual hygiene becomes a very critical piece that has to be addressed by athletes. So can you give us maybe five top tips, that can help athletes, maintain their menstrual hygiene, especially during periods?
Yes. So first of all, it is to change it frequently. Whatever product you are using, there is a time limit. Like for pads, disposable pads, it is 3 to 4 hours. For a reusable pad, it is 4 to 6 hours. For a period panty, it is 6 to 8 hours. For menstrual cup, it is 8 to 12 hours. So according to that, they have to change at that period of, after that amount of time. Other than that, change whenever they are in periods, change the pad after every heavy sweating session or after engaging in water-based activity, change immediately so that there is no risk of infection. After every change, before and after handling the menstrual product, wash your hands properly. Along with that, after changing, if they are using reusable pads, then wash properly. There is a proper wash routine for the pads. You can, look in the packaging, it is mentioned how to wash the kit properly. So they have to wash it properly. They have to sun dry the products after using so that any bacterial infection or any infection, any organism, if it is there, it is eliminated after sun drying. And after every high intense activity, you have to change it so that there is no question of sweat or no question of this infection.
Right. Just one question here on just the bleeding quantities, because this is something that a lot of athletes also ask us. What according to you is normal bleeding? Like, because that is a lot of athletes use pad calculation कि आज मैंने 3 बार pad बदला बदला और अब मैं 6 बार pad बदल रही हूँ, so something has changed. But according to you, how does an athlete understand if the bleeding levels are normal or they are abnormal, and then how do they decide on then the usage of the pad?
Okay, so any normal person can bleed up to around 80 ml of blood in every period. So if they're using cups, they can measure the amount of bleeding which they are bleeding. Other than that, if there is increase in amount of pad change per day, if they have experience that if they are previously changing 3 pads and now they are changing 6 pads, then it is obviously a cause of concern and they should meet a gynecologist to evaluate their change in bleeding pattern. And the duration of the periods, normally it is between 2 to 7 days. So if it is less than that or if it is more than that, then it is an abnormality and they need to show to a doctor.
Right. So anybody, all the athletes or anybody listening here, it's very important to not kind of bleed a lot, because I think and doctor, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that a lot of bleeding can actually cause a lot of fatigue and problems in terms of recovery, and also anemia is one of the things that can an athlete can go through, and having the combination of these things is never good for an athlete if they have to perform at their optimal level. So please know what is regular bleeding for you, and if you're not kind of in the measurement that doctor has given us, you have to make sure that you go and see your gynecologist. One more question here, doctor, is around just the cramps, right? Because this is something that a lot of athletes talk about in our workshops as well. We do our workshops from through the Simply Periods initiative, and that this is the first thing that everybody asks us. हम हमको cramps होते हैं. What should we do? So can you give us some tips on menstrual cramps and how one can kind of get along with it?
Okay, so menstrual cramps are very common. The basic tips that can help you with managing the menstrual cramps is that usage of heat pads. So, using a heat pad can, almost alleviate 80% of the cramps. So, whenever they are going in a tournament and they're anticipating their periods, do carry heat pads with you. Uh, Pain relief can also be brought about by simple basic medications like paracetamol and ibuprofen. So if the heat pads are not causing a relief to their pain, they can use that medications. Stretching can help. Stretching exercises, yoga can help in recovering from the cramps, and they even help in decreasing the cramps. Staying active is also one of the option, because usually girls tend to take rest and do not exercise while on their periods. But actually, staying active and doing exercise can improve their mood, and can they release endorphins, which is a happy hormone, and they can in turn decrease the menstrual cramps, and also improve their moods and decrease the symptoms. So I'll advise everyone to at least do basic stretching exercises and do a low impact exercises, which can in turn help in manage the discomfort during the periods.
Great, great. So yes, I mean, like doctor said, hydrating yourself, heat pads, yoga has always proven to be very, very helpful, and also for athletes who, of course, are used to a lot of training. Rest is not a bad idea, but like doctor said, light training can actually help you, with the period pain, and can actually give you some form of, like she said, endomorphins are released, and that can actually help you feel better in your head, and take your attention off the pain. But yes, so I think it's important to, again, I think tracking will help you understand what is normal and abnormal for you in terms of pain, as well as it will for bleeding. So I think period tracking is a great tool for all the girls here who are listening to make sense of your body and how your cycle works. Last question for you, doctor, before we let you go. So I mean, because in sport we see this, that because menstruation is bit of a taboo as a subject, a lot of times, and we are generally surrounded by sports science or support teams who are generally male, and it becomes sometimes difficult for a lot of athletes to open up and talk about this subject with their support team, and so on and so forth. So according to you, what would you say is, how can maybe athletes and their the ecosystem around them create an environment where an open conversation is possible, and the taboo is kind of addressed, and it becomes something that is very easily discussed, because like we've already established that menstruation is a part of a female body, and it can impact your performance one way or the other. So that's why having this conversation becomes important. So what would you suggest that athletes and their ecosystem can do to make an environment that is supportive of a female athlete?
So, I suggest a periodic education and awareness session between the support staff and the athletes and the trainers and everyone, the coaches and all. It can help, an open discussion about periods periodically, like every month or every 6 months, can help. And the girls, the athletes can come up front and discuss their problems with them, and accordingly they can help manage the problems. They need to debunk the myths. Some myths are very common. They carry the myths from their homes and from their peers, and they have many misconceptions about periods. So addressing those myths and debunking those myths is very essential. And so a periodic assessment can help debunking the myths. They can also encourage an open communication between everyone and create a safe space, so that the athletes can talk about the periods and the problems that they are facing properly, without any fear of getting misjudged. And I mean they I mean they can express freely, and they can also discuss about adjustment in the training schedule according to the period cycle, because on those days they are actually feeling fatigue, and no other help can be done apart. I mean, after doing all the basic essential treatment and still they are not feeling well, they can have an adjustment in the training schedule so that they can get adequate rest and nutrition. Also, access to menstrual products, like what has been done, like the menstrual hygiene products should be available freely to the athletes. A backup option can also be given to them whenever they don't have any products, and even I mean, making the products available freely or at a reasonable cost to them can also add an impact to that. Also, they should have access to private restrooms, private and hygienic restrooms, because getting a good restroom at remote places and while traveling is a very I mean, it is not even accessible for even general public. So rest alone the athletes. So at least a good hygienic restroom should be available for them to get them change their pads frequently. And also breaks, adequate breaks should be given to athlete whenever she's on a period. So she can change, she can get a proper nutrition and hydration and a proper recovery.
Great. Thank you so much. I think you covered a lot of important points there, because, like I said, clean toilets, having period products handy. One of the things that we ask a lot of coaches in our workshop is that जब आप अपना playing kit carry करते हो, क्या उसमें एक pad होता है? Generally, the answer is no,
Yes.
because
So backup,
they don't.
yes, having a backup is absolutely necessary.
Yeah, because like they cater to a lot of young athletes, and ऐसा भी होता है कि जब वो travel कर रहे होते हैं, young athlete, she's traveling in the train and she can actually have her period there. And as a coach, if you're traveling with her and you don't have the knowledge or you don't have a product with you, it can get quite difficult for the young girl, right? So I think having that thought always in the back of your mind, that if you're coaching young girls and women, it's always important to kind of have products handy and resources handy for them. Also, the idea of education is really really important, like you rightly said, that periodic awareness and making sessions possible, being able to have conversations around this topic is extremely extremely crucial. And just to kind of add to this, with Simply Sport Foundation, we run the initiative called Simply Periods Initiative, which I would, love if everybody who's listening in can also check out. That through this initiative, we have been doing workshops on menstruation and its impact on sports performance. And we have been doing this across the country. We have impacted more than 4,000 odd athletes and coaches through this initiative. And the idea is exactly what doctor is telling us, that to create the awareness, to create a conversation, and to help athletes and coaches get tools to kind of handle menstruation and not make it a hindrance to their performance. So please do check out the initiative. You can check out our website to have a look at what we have done so far. Thank you so much, Dr. Juhi, for joining us today. Thank you so much, Super Bottoms team, for making this live happen. And we are so glad that you could make some time for us and gave us so much valuable information, Dr. Juhi. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you to Simply Sports. Also, I'd love to educate young girls and athletes, especially athletes, because nowadays female athletes are bringing pride to our country. So it's absolutely essential to give them the kind of support they want.
Thank you so much, and thank you again to Super Bottoms for supporting our Brahmaputra Volleyball League project and giving us 500 reusable pads that will be now used by 500 athletes in Assam. Please do make sure that you look at our pages, Simply Sport Instagram page or even Super Bottoms page for more updates on what's going on. Our team currently is there doing these workshops and distributing these pads. We will be in Assam from 26th to 29th. So do check out what's going on in Assam with this project. And again, thank you to Super Bottoms, thank you, Dr. Juhi, and hopefully we meet soon. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.